When a team is at such a position which is very, what you say, sad and disappointing to find themselves at the bottom, it's kind of a hopeless situation for people around. People were writing FC Goa off. They were saying they are finished and it's not the right team. But now they are doing, making the news for right reasons. So at that time, what kind of mindset should the players have, the young players in the side?
You see, playing the game of football, the game is never won till the final whistle is blown. In a similar comparison, your league, you are just four games old in the league and you have another many games left. I mean, you should be having a never die spirit, because the coach whom they had in the name of Zico was a very experienced and seasoned coaches. And after he must have spoken a lot to them regarding what option they have for the remainder of the tournament. But they have not lost confidence in the coach and in themselves, and that's why they have been performing very well.
Right. Looking at the bigger picture, with ISL as a key moment in Indian football, what can you say will be the advantages or the help to the Indian football in general, the Indian football scene in general, from the ISL?
In fact, what has happened is that my only fear is that the crowds have come and watched some great players and great performances here. Whether I-League will be able to live up to the expectation, the performance of the players will be I wouldn't know. We'll have to wait and watch. But ISL has set the ball rolling. It is left up to the I-League clubs and the players themselves, management, to lift the standard of this game to at least some level of ISL.
Right. It's also being said that all over India, football has never received such a buzz from different quarters, and the people that we have spoken to, they say this is the best time for football to develop in India, because a dream of being a footballer, a career of being a footballer, this is now a child's dream, because the child is watching ISL on TV and they are getting all sorts of facilities. The money is a good enough factor for people to motivate themselves and even have this dream. So you think that there will be more people now trying to make a career in football, or at least playing football at the grassroots level?
You see, this experiment was also held in China, and it has not been a very big hit in China. It has failed also there in China.
Okay.
But what we can get out of this movement of ISL is their assurance and their commitment in developing grassroots level. The infrastructure and the grassroots training is the most important part of the whole process that has started. It has started well, and the hope that these franchises are going to continue in the grassroots level and develop the infrastructure for the youngsters to come. We'll have to wait and watch how much is being done. And obviously, this has put in the minds of all the youngsters and their parents that football has a future. The talented children have a future, and they should encourage their children. I mean, I don't think somebody can by itself come up on his own, the child, without the support and backing of the schools and the parents themselves.
Did you ever see the number of families that come to the stadium to watch the ISL? Did you ever see that number of those who hadn't come for a football match before? Such families are coming for the games, and you see them on TV with the kids in tow. They are coming for the matches. So great sign, isn't it?
You see, what has happened is that in previously, when there were big matches like this played, the environment was different. The infrastructure was not there. And today, people are able to travel with their own vehicles and own cars and sit comfortably at the stadium without any hassles. So, unless the infrastructure is available, there are people coming ready to watch, but they are also thinking about the safety and the modes of transport to the venue and all that stuff. And since this has been good, the response from the families have been also very interesting.
Absolutely. Now, the most challenging aspect of the Indian football season is that the I-League is coming up next, which will be starting in January. So now people will obviously compare the football from ISL to the I-League, because I-League is not that rich in terms of the players, the quality of foreigners as well?
You know, people should not have too much expectation at the beginning from the I League, because there is a financial crunch with all the I League clubs supporting football. That's known to everybody. I mean, it's hats off to those owners of the clubs who are contributing to football in terms of I League. So the people should also have patience and expect things to move on gradually with the franchise coming in of ISL, everything, and maybe the better sense will prevail between I Leagues and ISL organizers to merge into something very big for Indian football.
Absolutely. The talk of these two leagues merging has also been there in hush-hush tones, but it may be a conflict of interest between the owners of some of the I-League clubs who are not supporting the ISL. So the IFF has a big role to play, isn't it?
In fact, the IFF and the I-League clubs have to do it with the common interest of Indian football.
Yes.
Keeping aside their egos and their commitments, etc. And it will be good for the Indian football and good for the boys in Goa, Kerala, Calcutta, everywhere.
Right. Coming to the refereeing, there were a lot of foreign referees as well doing their duty in the ISL. Do you think that the level of refereeing was good enough for the ISL?
I wouldn't really say that I'm satisfied with the standard of refereeing in the ISL. You see, some of the Indian referees I have seen is they don't have that body language approach as the foreign referees have coming. And you have seen this being exploited by foreign players who keep on arguing and appealing to the Indian referees more, because the body language itself will speak whether they can approach the referee or not, or argue about any decisions.
Right.
You see, so that's one aspect I have seen about. Always there will always be controversies on decisions of referees and the game, but we have to take it in the stride and expect good things to come in future.
Right. There was one controversy where I think a ball had crossed the goal line, but the goal was not offered to a team because the goal line technology is not there in ISL. There was just one occasion that time. It was crucial.
Yeah, I think we are expecting too many things
In
at one time too early,
and yeah,
which will affect and help us solve these problems. The technology itself has proved that it is the best in the game for the benefit of the team and benefit of spectators and fans.
Overall, this inaugural season of ISL has made a lot of buzz, has developed a lot of buzz around football. So was the novelty factor of the league also a factor in attracting people to the stadium? Something new is happening, let's go and watch.
You see, I feel that the football lovers were starved for a pretty long time. Football lovers have supported IPL to a certain extent because they had nothing to go and cheer for.
Right.
So this has been laid down on a platter by the ISL to them, and they have responded tremendously.
So it will be now a challenge to the organizers to sustain this sort of interest and excitement for the ISL second season, isn't it?
Definitely, they have to do it if they have to continue getting good response from youngsters and the fans for developing Indian football.
Probably bigger name players, more fitter marquee players, they could come to India because this league has developed a global fan base. The league is being broadcast in most part of the world, and it's also now the 4th highest attended league. So you think more fitter players would want to come to India?
There may be an option for them to come here. Now they have another option. I remember in Major Soccer League in America, where best players like Thierry Henry and Beckham had been there. But that had not given them so much of response initially. Even Pele and Frank Beckenbauer, John Cruyff have been to the MSL. But the response has not been so good earlier. So we cannot for sure say that this is going to be the ultimate change in the status of Indian football. But we'll have to wait and watch. And it will also give an opportunity for the other players who are on the verge of retirement to come to India, because there's big money in football now in India.
Absolutely. Considering that these big names that you have just mentioned and the players that have been here as marquee players, some of them have been flops, to say and not be rude, with all due respect to their careers as players when they were in their prime. Some of them have been real flops. So when a youngster go to watch them and he sees that the player can no longer play to that high level, isn't that sort of a thing negative for the image of the league?
No, it may there may be some supporters who may be having a lot of expectations, but there are a lot of them who are not having so much of expectation from these marquee players, because they are some of them have retired, some of them are playing in low intensity leagues all over the world. But what ISL can do a little better is, in fact, I feel that when they are having an organization and event like this, they should be able to find out right from the beginning which players are going to be available, and try to get in the next edition some of the good players who they feel will not disappoint the crowds at home.
Right.
You see, this is what they can do. Of course, there have not been good performances from some of the marquee players, because definitely 18-year-old boy or a 20-year-old boy can't play like a 40-year-old boy. Yeah.
Absolutely. Any shortcomings that you see in this edition which could be ironed out for the next edition?
I think our Indian players should be able to rise a little better, perform a little better with a lot of hard work and dedication towards the game. I mean, one reason may be that I don't think that there was sufficient time been given with the dispute of the I-League and the ISL for these players to work.
All right.
So I think that's one lesson for them to learn.
On a scale of 10, how much would you give? How much rating would you give this first edition of ISL?
I think I would rate it to 6.
6. Okay, that's great. That's first class, 60 out of 100. So fantastic. So thank you very much, Francis, for coming to our studio and having this lovely chat.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So with that, we come to the end of this program. Keep watching Prudent. Goodbye.